Yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Walt equal Jewel. I'll be your host today on this journey. SAB, the powerologist. And what is Walt equal Jewel? In physics, power is the amount of energy transferred or converted per unit time. In the international system of units, the unit of power is the watt, equal to 1 joule per second. 3 weeks ago, 50 Cent was on the Breakfast Club and he was asked about Omari Hardwick and does Omari sound ungrateful in his interviews for what 50 has done for him. And this interview spread this conflict back up in the air where 50 mentioned that in the TV game, actors don't really see real money until the 3rd season. And he looked out for Omari during those first few seasons by loaning him some money when Omari was doing bad until he was able to pay him back when the show entered that 3rd season threshold. Also that Omari overvalues himself. His new projects are not hitting. No one really cares about his new projects, and that people really just know him because of power. Later, TMZ caught up with Notori Naughton, who plays Tasha on Power, where she talks about the situation.
Omari is literally the epitome of power. Omari Hardwick started this amazing, like the journey. And I don't know all of what happened with 50 and O, but I'll say this. I love Omari Hardwick. He's an amazingly talented human, and he's also a good person. But there would be no power without Ghost, right? So, I hope that they can find love and peace between each other, because much love to 50 and to O.
Gonna throw it out there. He asked for more money. I can't remember the exact figures.
Okay. I don't know their checks.
No,
I got my money though. Well, I know they paid me.
Do you feel like you guys made a pretty decent penny?
Oh, I definitely did. I fought very hard, and Courtney Kemp, a black female showrunner, fought for us. The entire network changed the game with how they introduced power to the world. So I do feel, for me, it was a different scenario. But I have so much, again, understanding, love, and support for what everyone's experience is, what he went through. But I definitely feel like...
Last. Can you see them reconciling with 50's personality? Can you see them?
Oh, of course. I think 50 is super cool, and he will reconcile at the end of the day with anyone. He got Taraji in a new show, and when Empire was on, it was beef. I think at the end of the day, it's all love, and we can always do, piecing it up. So that's how I feel.
Omari Hardwick originally turned down the role of Ghost, James St. Patrick. He had just had a family tragedy and had to take care of it on the same day he was having a meeting about the role of Ghost. The family tragedy was putting the family dog to sleep. Him and his wife lost a child years prior, and Omari had got the dog when that had happened. His wife made sure he got connected back with Courtney and 50, where he later secured the role of Ghost. The other actors that were up for the role were Michael J. White, Laz Alonso, Boris Kodjoe, and Ricky Whittle. All these guys are great actors, but they all have their personal style to the art of acting. So each one of them would have gave us Ghost in a different way, and most definitely in a different way from what we saw from Omari. There's no telling if one of these guys did get the role of Ghost, would Power still be as successful as it has become, and would the character of Ghost be so much of a fan's favorite? In the comments, I want you all to leave your thoughts about that. Omari's main issues are that he was not satisfied with the way the character Ghost ended on Power. And also, he feels like he was not financially paid his worth. Even though at the beginning of his run with Power, he does talk about 50 looking out for him. And these next clips are the interviews where Omari talks about his issues on how the character Ghost ended on Power. These clips are from the Pivot Podcast, The Rich Eisen Show, Uninterrupted, and Malik Brown.
So the way I would have liked to see it play out in a poetic justice type of way, and not the movie Fred, but just figuratively speaking, poetic justice-wise, similar to the turn of what Denzel's brilliant character, obviously brilliantly portrayed by Denzel, gave us in Man on Fire. A life for a life. When he went to give his life for Dakota Fanning's character, that's what I would have wanted. I envisioned, and I shared it with Courtney as well as with Joseph, I envisioned Tommy getting caught up in some, and Ghost had decidedly, after trying every turn, when Ghost decidedly felt like every turn I've gone left, right, backwards, forwards, sideways, whatever, up, down, I did leave it all on the field, and it's still not working for me the way I wanted to work for me. So after that, exhausting all of the options to be bigger and to be everything he wanted to be, what makes him so addictive is that we all can relate to someone so grounded, they never get too big for their britches. The britches of which they put on when they first started. Tommy is that. You started with Tommy. So he gets caught up in some. What I envisioned was me having to go give a life for a life. If it was such a beautiful moment, I probably shared it with Courtney first, but when I shared it with Joseph, he was like, yo, I love it. And I said, instead of Romeo and Juliet, it's like Romeo and Romeo.
Ghost didn't get to die with anybody. Ghost died alone.
He did.
That nigga died on a floor. A cold floor.
Son killed him.
That nigga's son, which hurt me.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good. That's not good.
Because that's not a statement that we should make to the black community.
Yeah.
Or other communities.
Did you tell Courtney that when?
Absolutely. My only issue with that. Had no issue with him dying.
Yeah.
I had an issue with the way the story started going. Because that's not the way the story started.
Yeah.
It started making him an anti-hero. He was originally the anti-hero's hero. He was an anti-hero hero.
Yeah.
He started becoming not heroic.
Yeah.
Which, that wasn't what I signed up for. It took a direction that I wasn't too keen on. Yeah. And many of the fans obviously have spoken as to not be too keen on it.
Very true.
But when you have a young black man shoot not only his father, but Lester, which is what made it so great, and I felt 50 gave this beautiful gift of character
Shout
for
out
me
to 50.
to
Shout
play.
out to 50.
What he did was he went, this dude left a few negative turns in life that he had to go because he didn't have opportunity.
Right.
Had he not had to go those left turns, and he could have gone right turns, this dude would be someone who's doing the things he's trying to rightly do.
Yeah.
So he was in his own way. Ghost being the person in his own way, yes. Right, Malik?
Yeah.
But he was the parent who actually was trying to be a great parent.
He was trying to be a great parent.
So you don't have him shot.
Yeah.
You don't have Naturi's character shot.
True.
You have no one shot by a child in the show.
Yeah.
That one got me. That one got me as Omari.
Yeah.
That one got me as
That was
Omari.
tough.
Because
That
it's
was
me.
tough. Yeah.
You got me here speaking to young kids. I'm supposed to embrace? Nah, bro. That one got me.
That was tough.
I had no problem with Ghost being off the board. The way he was taking off. Crazy.
Could have let Tommy do it.
Yeah. Friend, that's
yeah. That makes sense.
Shakespeare.
That's Shakespeare. That's Shakespeare.
The son
is kind of
a black father.
Yeah. Man,
I'm not big on that one.
I miss most the opportunity to take the story to where I thought it could be taken in terms of the ending. Rest in peace, Jimmy Gandolfini, when you think about the fact that like a beautiful collective of art that you and I go to the Getty to look at. And you come out with one thought, Rich, and I come out with another thought, and then we go and we have a couple brews together and we go, well, what'd you think about that Jackson Pollock? And I go, what'd you think about that one? For me, it's the fact that we left a beautiful audience that I need everybody who's looking at this interview on the Rich Eisen show to hear me say, I can never be more humbled than what Curtis,
Courtney, Mark Canton, Chris Albrecht, Carmi Zlotnick, stars as a network, my castmates, my crew, all the C's, all befitting. What everyone afforded me an opportunity for my life to change, but most importantly, giving the fans what I thought they deserved, which was the right and more appropriate ending. Not that the spinoffs couldn't happen, that's dope, but the right and appropriate ending. I wish and miss perhaps that opportunity. And I've never been able to say that. And this is the first time I've said, well, there it is. It's that. That's what I miss. I want to give absolutely the fans what they're saying. So come back. I want to come back for that specific reality. But sometimes you can't rewrite that which has already been written.
Understood.
No, I said it.
I appreciate it.
I'm with you in the sense that the way the story was sold and told to me is not befitting of the way it ended, guys. So y'all have every right to be like, it didn't end right. And because we don't honor our fans enough, and I know me, Matt, and Trey are different. We honor y'all. We honor our fans, man. We often forget that the fans are being sold and told a story that has a genesis and that it has to end the way that it was sold and told to end. And because it wasn't, y'all have every right to be upset and go, so therefore, thusly, henceforth, Ghost cannot be kaput because it didn't end the way that we started the show. But had it ended the way that we started the show, then I think you guys would be extremely satisfied with the art, the beautiful freaking art that the show was. It should exist in museums. You should be able to forever have conversations about the show. And this was everybody's uncle. Ghost was, whether Jamie or Ghost, he was everybody's uncle who was more importantly trying to go right from going wrong. And I loved him, and I always will love him, but I just want y'all as fans to always remember, I played the guy, so I'm a little bit bigger than him. So it's better to follow me than a character.
There you go.
Just remember that.
After this footage from the Tribeca Film Festival was out, on a post on IG, 50 goes in on the comments. This ninja is a strange bird. The F is he talking about? I never done nothing but look out for him. If he needed something, I gave it to him. I understand now that ish didn't matter. When Power jumped off, Omari was having a hard time holding things together. Like 50 said at the beginning of the video in the Breakfast Club interview, the cast and crew don't really be seeing that real money until the third season. So 50 helped out Omari during that hard time at the beginning of Power. These clips from the Angie Martinez show and the Pivot podcast, Omari talks about it.
50 Cent, aka for me, Jackson 5, because I think Jackson 5 embodies all that I know him to be. Everybody else can call him what monikers or nomenclature they have for him, that's fine. I call him Jackson 5. He loaned me one summer like 20 G's. He said, I can't have my number one effed up. So he owed me 20,000. And Jay, as you know, a fellow Capricorn, right? So we sat there, pragmatic, logical. You know how we are. We with money like
your
that,
wife,
right? So then, so Jay and I was like, nah, you can't. Like, you gotta pay. And I'm like, I'm paying him back. And like, but you can't. And brown people need to know this, and you know this, Angie. Brown people all of us need to remember that when we loan money, that you can't give back the same amount of money that was loaned to you.
You have to
because that person's money could have been making money that you.
Especially if it's 50 cents money.
You nailed it.
Right.
So I made sure I gave him that back with interest.
Very smart.
And then the next summer he gave me money. I hadn't re-upped yet. Didn't have my new contract. So we were living in this New York life, but as you know, bi-coastal. So I was trying to figure out life. Figured like, yo, I can't have my investment effed up. And he looks at life like that. He was developing a friendship and a brotherhood with me, but I was also his investment. So then he gave me another 20,000. And then I paid that back. Now with more interest. With more interest.
Got it.
And so when people say that, I think it's so dope. But I love now that I can say it because you can have actual Instagram people who listen to 50, follow 50, or listen to Omari, follow Omari, and go, yo, so you did borrow money from him. Yeah, but I paid him back.
Thank God.
And I ain't trying to borrow $1 million from him.
No, ever.
Ever. He doesn't play with his money, but he also doesn't play with his investment. So he was real big on throwing an arm around me, figuratively speaking, and making that arm
That's so
up.
nice to hear because people
He's
always
dope,
are quick.
man.
People are always quick to tell the bad 50 stories, but I know there are a lot of good 50 stories.
He gave
and
that
it's very
so
nice
quick.
to hear one.
He gave it. He put when Tyler Perry loaned me money, he did it in a brown paper bag. That Negro's from New Orleans, right, Louisiana. And I thought it was super hood and super cool. And he's pretty good financially now, right? Gave me money, Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry. You're a struggling
I
actor
was,
at the time?
absolutely. So then 50 loans me $20,000 2 summers, and he put it in the sock that you get to put on in first class on Delta.
Yeah.
In the little blue socks.
I know the blue socks.
Hell yeah, you put them on, Edge.
Of course.
You be putting them on them feet.
I like the blue socks.
So he put money in that blue sock, and he gave it to me twice. 1 year in a shirt. He wrapped the shirt up. I think Renee from G Unit office, he sent me within the shirt the money. And then another year, 50 just put it in my hand and said, take care of the family, yo. And so people do need to hear those stories. He's so giving that when he comes down and come, if you don't,
but you also paid him back.
Yeah, I don't play that. I don't play around with that. I paid Tyler back. Paulette and Denzel gave me $1,500 when I was living in the car to make sure that the car wasn't repoed that I was living in.
Wow.
Like that's a lot, man. For people to let you come in their house and eat dinner is a lot, let alone give you money. To me, it's a lot.
So for me to give it back to 50 with interest, I was so proud to be able to do that. And it was early. He felt like, damn, you can't be messed up. You need money. And it was the summer, and it was after season 1, and then it was the summer after season 2, and he gave me $20,000. And the next summer, he gave me $23,000. Now, absolutely, because he adores Jay and the kids. He might like them more than me. It was absolutely given in a way of like, take care of the family, bro. Use that.
50 helps out Omari, and Omari pays him back with interest. Power becomes a success and goes 6 seasons. Once you hit that 3rd season on up, the cast and crew start seeing that real money due to the success of the show. But Omari says he didn't get paid his worth or even treated his worth when Power reached success and what the show was doing for the Stars Network. These clips from $1 Million Worth of Game, the Pivot Podcast, Associated Press, and Real Ones with John Bernthal, Omari weighs in on that.
Angela Bassett makes $250 on 911. She's the highest paid.
She makes $250 a week?
So you had to at least $150.
No, then you got it right. First time I've ever disclosed it. But I was also the face of the network.
Right.
Angela's not the face of that network. She's one of the greatest actresses that ever graced the planet, but she's not the face of that network.
Mm-hmm. The curators and creators of these shows that then ask us to be Tom Brady's. Bern, I wasn't necessarily brought in as touted as Tom Brady was, leaving New England, going to Tampa. John Bernthal came in. If you got Ghost, you would have come in bigger stature than me walking in. So because I didn't come in bigger stature, that show, if you will, made me. It didn't make me in my definition, but because it made me to other people's belief, they can feel away if they don't feel like they're being given the credit. And ironically, I only give credit where credit is due. I am as good as the weakest actor. The show goes as far as the weakest crew member. And if 50 doesn't hire me, and I've said, 50, you had to be hella secure to hire me. You could have been insecure and hired some guys that are nowhere near my talent. 50 learned that I was aware how gifted I was. Bern, you and I know how gifted we are. We think that everybody else assumes that we think we're gifted. I've learned that some people, because of our humility, think we don't know how gifted we are. Some people feel more in control when you come off like you didn't know you had to. Bernthal, I could never play one down. Let's go back to football. I could never even dress up in the locker room if I didn't know how gifted I was. Right. But when we don't come off that way, some people really are taken aback the day that you come off that way. I believe the day that I came off like I knew how gifted I was, everything changed.
What was that?
Not
thing?
always for the better.
How so?
No longer was I in control of the faculty of that which they put me in control of when they asked me to play quarterback. If you ask me to play quarterback, then you have to allow me to sometimes call the plays.
Yeah.
If you ask me to play quarterback, not producer, just quarterback. I'm not at all of this notion that I was a producer.
Right.
I tried to get that credit.
Right.
Wasn't allowed it.
Right.
I mean, even that blew the mind of many of me's.
Yeah.
On a show not far over, you had people playing Olivia Pope, who are dear friends of mine on Scandal, Kerry Washington's, to be specific, blown away that I was never offered an opportunity to rap.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I realized, Bernthal, that our industry includes so many people, if not the majority, you're going to smile. They are insecure.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't really love themselves prior.
Yeah.
I missed that memo.
Yeah.
You might say, brother, how the naivete? Are you an idiot, oh? I was an idiot. So I did the best that I could in an environment, oftentimes burned, that as much as I'm flawed and up and insane and got some weird idiosyncrasies, I might be the most flawed and most odd person on set. Hello, you hired me to play the most odd, complex person.
That's right.
But I'm so secure with it.
It would have to just be the perfect thing. They asked me before to come back. They asked me in the last year and a half to come back. When I was offered this. When I was in Boston reading this script, I was in Boston saying, okay, then this. And then the then this went to Stars, and then they didn't come back giving me what I wanted on the then this. So if they gave me the then this, if they give me, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, you know, they're right that.
I've never in life, as an actor, made the metric, numerical as it pertains to money. I have never made the money befitting, in my opinion, of what, because I have an understanding of metrics.
Was it reasonable? Was the money reasonable?
Of course, absolutely. We should never be the bad guy. Certain interviews were never set up for me to come off as the bad guy. But when we talk money, you can't enter the world, that particular world that we grew up in, more so that particular world we grew up in, understands money and value. And what a network was getting, or a Sony was getting, or a Paramount was getting, or until you know what the up tops were getting.
Because a lot of times,
then you can't really speak about what the bottom or the middle or whatever we're not getting or should be happy about getting. I'm always happy, count it all joy. You asked perfectly, Wallow. Was it respectable? Of course it was respectable.
Right, so
but not once you get to a place where what's been gained by your services getting a team down the field.
Yeah.
Not when what's been gained for the company by getting your team down the field is not matching of your ability to do three-step drops, cut across, throw underhand, do it's. Wallow says it a little bit better, Gilly, because leverage I might not have at a particular point, but my leverage going forward is from proof of concept. When I look back and Wallow and Gilly go, oh, 4 spinoffs came off of your getting the ball down the field. 4 new. Do you know how many actors, though, got paid from you playing quarterback? I didn't do it without a great wide receiver and Joseph. I didn't do it without a great halfback in Naturi. I didn't do it without a great wingback in Leela. And I didn't do it without a great linebacker called Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. It did. Yes, but you were the quarterback. Correct. So it's all on me. When we lose, it's on me.
When we win, it's on me.
So Wallow's right. At this point, Gills, I was able to look back, proof of concept, and go, now Courtney has to be given credit for the concept. Courtney did that shit. She nailed it. But if I got her concept down the field with my fellow teammates, and we got
you
4,
materialize her imagination.
That's it, Bubba. And we got 4. We got 4 off of that. Gilly and Wallow, how many actors got hired off that?
Plenty.
Friends.
No.
Wood Harris, Method. Michael Ealy is a dear friend of mine. My boy Woody, I love Woody.
Let's
love Woody.
Can we expand that? Can I expand that?
I love Woody.
Can I expand it? How many actors got hired off it, right? How many audio guys? How many cameramen? How many editors? How many lawyers had to do paperwork? How many people that handle the commissary?
Wow.
The food, like the whole, like you
The
think
whole
about the
thing.
whole
The whole
set.
thing.
Like, but what I'm
He's
saying
still in
is
jail
wardrobe, makeup.
Hold on, keep going.
So you got all that stuff.
Teamsters.
Teamster, all that stuff.
Driving the trucks, not
union.
just the vans.
The union.
Everybody.
So you're talking about hundreds of people.
And so much money.
A lot of money.
So I am biblical enough and believe in God enough, Gills and Wallow, that I can look at it and go, oh, I'm good.
But
because what did I say, Wallow, at the start of the conversation? I was always moving forward, even when people go back.
So there's a certain number that Omari wants to return to power due to the work he has put in as the main lead actor for the success of the original Power that has helped jump off spin-offs and also bring in views and attention to the Starz network. 50 sees it as, we were the ones that made you hot, and you ain't been hot since you've been on Power. So this number you're asking for is over what you're really worth. Starz financially has changed how they move, and the shows on their network are now averaging 1 to 4 seasons. The budget for these shows on Starz have changed, and that does play a part of paying Omari on what he's asking for. Also, there's the story. Can the writers of Power come up with something that Omari agrees with that gives the character Ghost justice on the return and officially finalizing his end for the Power universe? Like Notori said in her interview with TMZ, there is a chance for Omari and 50 to somehow reconcile and just make things work. Whether it's Omari bringing down his price or 50 courting his Starz are able to work something out in a way that can pay Omari what he's looking for or somewhere near it. Also, the story. They gotta have the right story for Ghost. For the fans who are wanting Omari Hardwick to reprise his role as Ghost, this clash of the Power Titans has to come to the best resolution for the fans of Power. That interview with Associated Press confirms that there were talks about Omari returning to the Power universe. Let's make it happen. If these two cannot work things out, we will not get the return of Ghost James St. Patrick. Thanks for watching another video of Walt equals Jewel. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and share. If you enjoy the channel, make sure you subscribe. In the comments, leave your thoughts about how you feel about the beef, the conflict with Omari and 50. Also, could Ghost been played by a different actor and still have the same success? And if so, by who? This is your host, Sab, SAB, the Powerologist, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Easy.